Welcome to Quack Co, the board game channel where every video is 10 minutes or less guaranteed.
Or double your money back.
Today, we are asking the question, what makes a good social deduction game?
Ooh,
it's Monday
social
Musings. This is where we have a conversation. We sit down, we talk with you, the audience, we ask questions, and I think we are not aligned on this, which is why I thought it would be an interesting conversation between the two of us.
Okay.
You see, I just got finished playing and covering Among Cultists.
Yet another game that you played without me.
One of these beautiful little social deduction take that style games that West loves.
I do.
And instead I brought a crew down from from Canada.
So unfair.
To play it with me.
Is that why there's geese out in the front yard?
Did not invite West at all.
Very not cool.
But if you want to go watch that gameplay, you can. And I think Among Cultists and other games in this space are very good social deduction games for some particular reasons.
Okay.
I like the chance to take actions and have actions reveal who you are.
Okay.
As opposed to having roles, having character traits, having conversation, having any of the above-ground subterfuge be the stuff that you're looking for to reveal the nature of the player. And I have a feeling that you lean the other way.
I completely disagree, yeah.
Oh, no. Okay.
So I hear what you're saying. Let me make sure I understand you correctly. You're saying that you would prefer...
skills, West.
Thank you. You would prefer to have the reveal by the actions that you make as opposed to the reveal happening whenever the person's ready to reveal it, because of whatever character trait that they're doing or in-game result they're going for.
For instance, and I'll use Among Cultists as an example because we have it set up here. For instance, in Among Cultists, you have a hierarchy of actions that you are supposed to be taking.
Right.
So everyone has to follow this pattern. And the cultist, who is the person that is trying to murder everyone, does not have to follow this pattern.
Sure.
They can go to other rooms, they can break the order, they can break the operation sequence, and their actions are the things you're looking for. So instead of judging everyone's verbal acknowledgement, or telling everyone to stare you in the eye, or like, forbid sitting in a circle playing werewolf for hours on end when people are like screaming at each other that in 7 minutes they'll have more information, which they don't.
Right.
They'll have just someone will get tired and quit. Here, in a game like this, a game that gives you a lot of different levers and mechanics to play with, whether you're turning on a light, whether you're interacting with someone, what different types of actions you're taking, where you're going in the room, how you're playing cards, all of that is what is revealing the puzzle of the game.
But isn't that what you're doing by subterfuge and other things? You're putting people in different positions, you're having them make choices, and those choices that they make help you be a better bad person. I don't love games that rely on the social dynamic to be the crux of it. So let's back up then. There are games that aren't social deduction dynamics, because the social deduction concept like werewolf, like the clockwork one. Clockwork, why can't I? That's terrible. So there's those. Blood on the Clock Tower, thank you. So push those games aside. There are other games where there are hidden roles. I think
Blood on the Clock Tower is a brilliant game.
Correct.
Famously does not work for me.
Right. So putting those games aside, what about the other hidden role games that are not actions based?
So for instance, something like Veiled Fate.
Something like Veiled Fate, exactly.
So something like Veiled Fate, I enjoy the actions, that side of the mechanics, more than I enjoy the ambient trying to read what people are doing. Because the actions that they're taking is revealing it. So I don't like playing the game of like, are you green? Are you blue? Are you purple?
Right.
I like looking at the puzzle that they're creating on the table.
But that is the game. That's the puzzle of the game, because it's still trying to figure out the social aspect of it. Which one are you? So that you can screw them over in the end, hopefully. Yeah. By pushing something else around.
No, I mean, that is true. And there's a middle ground that sort of blurs the line.
And what about... What about Mantis Falls, where you're sitting on an absolutely beautiful scenario where at the very end we've been brothers all the way, and then all of a sudden I flip that switch and take you out.
I think something like Mantis Falls largely reveals itself through strategic card play over the conversation that's happening above board. There is a bit of that. There is always the Are you telling the truth? Are you not? Give me the gun. But it's the decisions. It's the actions that you make are the grounding.
But in Mantis Falls, for those of you who don't know, there are actions that you have to take that are either hidden or shown. Yep. And those actions are usually horrible because you have to make a choice. Oh, well, I'm good. This is the injury that's going to happen to us. You have to take all the damage. I get healed 1 or whatever. And we're truthful about it. But in that particular situation, the actions that happen, in my opinion, because of the way they've set it up, they don't matter, because I'm going to hurt you, you're going to hurt me, we can help each other a little bit along the way. It is that social aspect, that conversation, that makes that game shine, in my opinion.
Yeah, so as we get to the end here, the core question, because I thought we would be different on this, so I'll just give you some space. What makes a good social deduction game? What are you looking for in a good social deduction game?
I want to be fooled. I want to be fooled. I want the game to tell me this is what I'm trying to go for, and then I want other players in the game to fool me. I want to be so engrossed and involved and believe the whole time that I've got this understood. I get it. And then at the very end, the reveal happens, and I'm like, oh, are you kidding? Like, that is what makes a social deduction game shine and be absolutely beautiful. And why I love the majority of really well-created social deduction games, because they give me that in spades, like Veiled Fate and Mantis Falls. Like, oh, those reveals are just, they're amazing.
So your desire is to be fooled, which
at the very end,
I think is a very different. It's a good insight into the difference between our opinions. My desire is to fool. In a social deduction game, I like a game that is built off of the mechanics. I think the best role to ever have in any of these games is the person that is the hidden role. And so my favorite experience, or my desired experience, is an experience where I'm playing the mischievous villain, and instead of revealing it through social cues, I am pulling all these levers in order to set up the perfect trap to snare other people in.
Sure.
Instead of the overarching, like the veil of a lot of the small buck social deduction games, they just don't work for me.
Yeah.
Because they're built off of the premise of sitting around and judging other people, of like finding out through mistakes that other people make in gameplay, because they're human, as opposed to mistakes they make in the mechanics, right? I want it closer to a Euros almost, with some social elements.
I see where you're saying. So you would prefer to be the one who is always the bad guy.
Absolutely.
And whereas I don't mind not being the bad guy, because I want a game that's going to make it fun for me even if I'm not the bad guy.
Yeah.
I think it's the game that is the synergy of the situation, because if you've got a really good social deduction game, it doesn't matter if you're the bad guy or the good guy. I think bad social deduction games have created a situation where everyone hates being anyone other than the bad guy.
Yeah, I mean, that very much could be it. However, I still enjoy not being the bad guy in games that are more mechanics driven, because then I'm not just sitting around without much to do, right? In a game like Werewolf, if I'm just one of the innocent townsfolk,
then it's boring.
I got no interaction other than trying to judge other people.
Correct. I agree with you.
Whereas
on that.
in a game like Among Cultists, in a game here that we're talking about over on the main channel, this is a puzzle where when I'm not the villain, I get the chance to try to solve the puzzle that's in front of me. Same thing with Mantis Falls. If I'm not the villain, I got one half of the information, and now my job is to survive and move forward.
Right.
You might be the villain. That might be a dramatic reveal. I have to be on my feet. I have to be guarded a bit. However, I also have to survive, and there's a game there that's beyond just figuring out the other person.
So that's the key: is there has to be a game beyond the social aspect of it.
Yeah, but a lot of them don't have that, though.
Yeah, and I think that's where most of these games fail, is because they're not a game. They're just they're a social experiment. And if it's not a game, then it's not as much fun.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe so. Let me know what you think. That's our conversation. We'll see you on another video sooner or later.
Yeah. Do you like my new shirt, though?
It's purple.
It's a nice one, right?
I'm very excited about it.
Purple and flamingos at the same time? I like
so
it.
Fancy, West.
So very fancy.
Yeah, if you all know flamingo-based merchandise that West can purchase.
Yeah, I need more. I don't have enough shirts, and I feel like I'm constantly recycling the same 8 to 10 shirts.
What
so I
a tragedy.
Had to pick up more.
Wow.
Yeah.
Had to.
It's
literally a job requirement.
It's my uniform. I get to write it off. Yeah. That's the smart business sense.
Very well. The
Very.
business of the senses.
So smart.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.